And yet in the US, just yesterday in Tar Heel, North Carolina, outside the world's largest slaughterhouse, somewhere between 33,000 and 36,000 pigs are slaughtered every single day at this facility. Just think about that number.
So there was a Pig Save movement, a vigil at this slaughterhouse.
With 250 activists.
Yes.
A lot of them had travelled internationally for this event. Sean Monson, the director of Earthlings, was filming there.
So what happens? The police turn up and it gets heated. The way it ended was, from what we heard, and this will obviously be, we're recording this podcast a lot sooner than when it's going to air, so facts may change by the time you're listening to this. But what we heard was 12 people were arrested, 2 were let off, and the other 10 were taken to jail and charged. And apparently what the arrested activists were doing was no different to what anyone else was doing. That's what we heard yesterday, right? So it was unclear as to why those 12 were picked out and arrested. Now, the footage that came out was absolutely horrific, because at one point, one activist was on the ground. There were about 3 or 4 police officers on him, and one officer was just hitting him. He was punching him in the face.
Repeatedly in the face. Absolutely awful. There were
screaming,
blood-curdling screams from the bystanders who were filming and couldn't believe what they were seeing.
Now, what did this activist do to provoke such a reaction? What could this man have done that was so bad to justify being punched in the face like that? He didn't have a weapon.
Pinned down by 3 or 4 police officers.
Yeah.
One activist.
What did he do? I didn't see him resist. I mean, you've got 4 people on him. Put cuffs on him and put him in the van. You know, why are you punching him in the face?
Did he have a bomb? Did he have a gun?
Didn't have anything. He had his phone. He had his phone. That's the weapon in 2018. Your phone is your weapon, because that is the truth teller. You know, so it was just disgusting.
Yeah, so the point being, we saw the law enforcement agencies, remember they are part of this complex that we've spoken about. They were the ones perpetrating the violence against the non-violent peaceful protesters.
Trying to protect innocent victims being slaughtered needlessly.
And yet these same activists, vegan activists in general, are being painted as the militant, extremist, violent, death threat sending people. I mean,
man, it is.
It's 1984.
It is.
Where black is white,
Orwell,
white is
1984.
black, up is down. Well, this is why Philip Wallen, who we've spoken about before, Australian vegan activist, philanthropist, he's got in his speech there, the industry has been Goliath, but David is coming.
I think David is here. David is here.
You know, and if not you, then who? And if not now, then when? That's where we're at.
Yeah.
He's that part of his speech dead bang on right.
Yeah. It does feel like an army in a revolution.
Yeah, it's David versus Goliath, and in this case, David's slingshots are their smartphones and their placards.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. And what he's saying is that each and every single one of us
can be David.
Is David.
Is
Not
David.
can be. We are David.
Yeah.
We are David, and as he said, the time is now.
Yeah. And so for the vegans who are potentially, going to divide vegans by turning on vegan activists and saying, don't do it this way. In fact, stop doing it altogether because you're making me feel uncomfortable. I'm feeling the judgment from non-vegans. I don't want to be associated with you. You make us
look bad.
Yeah, you make us look bad. Basically, you're making me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think you know
what we're saying here.
In fact, I want to share this quote with vegans who are thinking this way about vegan activists and also non-vegans, yeah?